Yeah. Yeah. No. Hi, Eva. How are you? Hi, Annabeth. Hi, Amy. I should wait a couple, Susan? What? Okay. I just got a signal for those of you on Facebook. I just got a signal to wait a few moments as some people are coming in. So to anybody who is online, we'll be starting in a few minutes. Your sound is not broken. I am not saying anything at the moment. Maybe she's taking this Shabbat off after so much last week. Oh. Say something? Okay. Apparently the sound is working. To those who are watching, I know we're starting a couple minutes late tonight. Apologies. Bring them in. No, thrift sale is not open on Shabbat. Right. Okay. Page 128. Hine ma tovu manaim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manaim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manaim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manaim shevet achim gam yachad. Shabbat shalom and a warm welcome on this still wet Friday night in May, and welcome to the month of May. Happy Cinco de Mayo, and I hope you enjoyed Star Wars Day yesterday. May the 4th be with you. I'm Rabbi Michael Feshbach, and we are unaccompanied tonight, so it is wonderful to be with you, but I look forward to hearing all of your voices lift us up together. We continue with Kabbalat Shabbat, the psalms and songs with which we welcome Shabbat. We turn to page 130 and 131, this combination of Psalms 95 and 96. The words in English mean, "Come, let us sing joyously to Adonai and sing unto God a new song. Lechu neranena l'Adonai and shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Lechu neranena, Lechu nerane na ladonai. Lechu nerane na. Lechu nerane na. Lechu nerane na ladonai. Naria, naria, litzor yishenu, nikadma fanav betodah. Naria, naria, litzor yishenu, bizmirot naria lo. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena ladonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena ladonai. Shiru ladonai, shiru shir chadash, shiru ladonai, kol haaretz. Shiru ladonai, baruch shemo. Pasru miyom yom Yeshuato. Shiru ladonai baruch shemo. Pasru miyom leyom Yeshuato. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena ladonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena ladonai. Shabbat shalom, welcome. Page 138 and 139. We jump all the way tonight to Lechadodi. Stanzas 1, 2, 5, and 9. Lecha lechadodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lechadodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad. Ishmiyanu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. L'shem u'tiferet v'liti la lechadodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lechadodi, likrat kala. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor haberacha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila la lechadodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lechadodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat neka. Page 139. Hit orari, kiva orech kumi uri, shir daberi, kavod Adonai alaich nigla la lechadodi. Likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lechadodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Please rise. Boi v'shalom ateret ba'ala, gam b'simcha u'v'tzohala. Toch emunei am segula, boicha la lechadodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lechadodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Page 141. Towards the end of Psalm 93 in English, it feels to me, this is my first year here, but it feels to me almost, with spring and with the liddles open, it almost like the area is waking up. And so we know that there will be more than a few visitors coming here soon. And it is for one reason alone. It is for the good pizza. It is for the beach. And for that reason, from the bottom of page 141, the last section together, the ocean sounds Adonai. The ocean sounds its thunder. The ocean sounds its pounding. Above the thunder of the mighty waters, more majestic than the breakers of the sea, is Adonai, majestic on high. Your decrees are indeed enduring. Holiness befits your house, Adonai, for all times. Page 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Uni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch. The bottom of page 145 and then back to 144. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There is no place on earth without the presence. Please rise. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, b'gala, b'gala, uv'izman kariv, v'meru, Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevorach, le'olam lo me'almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, Shmei dekudesha rich, le'la min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata, v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma, v'yimeru. Baruchu et Adonai hamavorach, Baruch Adonai hamavorach, le'olam va'ed, Baruch Adonai hamavorach, le'olam va'ed. Page 148. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah poteach sha'arim, uv'tvuna mishane itim, u'machalif et hazmanim, u'mesader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, u'ma'avir yom u'mevi layla, u'mavdil ben yom u'ven layla, Adonai tzvaot shemo, el chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch alenu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai. Page 150 on the bottom. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws, and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kivod Malchuto, Leolam. Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta b'ham v'shiftecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha b'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tiskeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem leelohim ani Adonai Elohechem emet. Page 159, then back to 158 for Michamocha. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot o sefele, nora tehilot o sefele, malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam ze'elianu ve'amru Adonai imloch, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed v'ne'amar kifad Adonai et Yaakov u'galo mi'ad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. 161 on the top. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל Oti leolam, oti leolam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat. La'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. The Amidah, the Tefillah, beginning on page 164. Please rise. And as I have shared with you before, the custom of backing away at the beginning is and remember on weekdays we ask for things of God during this. On Shabbat we don't really ask, we just are praising and sitting with God, but we are coming into the presence of the sovereign of sovereigns. So to do that, since there's a coronation tomorrow, not here, but across the pond, we're treating God as a ruler, and very carefully you come in, you shuffle back, and then as you approach, you come in and bow. That's the body language at the beginning. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, L'Ma'an Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol, Atah Rav L'Hoshia, Morid HaTal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Bal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, B'ne'eman Atah Lachayot HaKol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechaye HaKol, Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh, Kadoshim B'chol Yom Yahalalu Chasela, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Continue in personal prayer. bottom of page 180. Ose shalom bimroma. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. It usually does continue, except when I'm leading it, when, we don't need to lengthen. I mean, I'm managing maybe, but we've announced that we're bringing in a new cantor, and all of you are thanking God for the new cantor coming when you're listening to me sing tonight. It's true. I heard somebody say that. You can thank God because she's coming, because she's wonderful, but also because of my singing. We are continuing with the Torah service tonight. Will you guys help with the ark doors? It's going to be twice tonight. And Pamela and Steve, will you help with the Torah? Patty and Steve, I'm sorry. I was afraid of that. Well, I got the first two letters right. Patty and Steve, if you'll please come forward. Any back surgeries that I don't know about? Although the Torah is fairly light, but any back surgeries I don't know about? Are we okay? Okay, good. We continue with Seder Kriyat Torah, the service for the reading of Torah, page 362. En kamocha v'Elohim Adonai ve'en kema'aseh. Sorry.
That's okay.
Malchut kol olamim u'alcha bechol dor v'ador. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imloch leolam va'ed. Adonai os le'amo yiten. Adonai yivarech et amo v'asha. Heitiv avirtzonecha et Zion. Tivnech chomot Yerushalayim. Tivnech chomot Yerushalayim. Ki v'cha levad batachnu melech eram v'nisa Adon olam. Page 366, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Lecha Adonai Hagidula B'Hagivura B'Hatiferet B'Hanetzach V'Od Ki Chol V'Shamayim U'Va'aretz Ki Chol V'Shamayim U'Va'aretz Lecha Adonai HaMamlacha B'mitnaseh Lechol Erosh Romenu Adonai Eloheinu V'Hishtachavu Lehar Kodsho Romenu Adonai Eloheinu V'Hishtachavu Lehar Kodsho Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Please be seated. Thanks. This is a remarkably interesting Torah portion. And it's one of those, specifically, not the beginning, but Leviticus 23, which I'm reading the beginning of tonight, and which we'll study in some detail tomorrow. This is actually the last Torah service, Torah study on Shabbat mornings that we're having for a while. It'll be tomorrow, then again on June 10th. Bennett, you and I will talk, and others, about when we will be meeting and when we can meet moving forward, for calendar reasons. But this is all about the calendar, Leviticus 23. And what's so interesting is that in each of the major appearances in the Torah of the cultic calendar, the holidays are referred to by different names. There is different language and wording about them, and the implications of that are vast for how the holidays developed, what they were originally, what they turned into. In fact, there's one phrase that has to do with the Omer blessing in the middle of Leviticus chapter 23, which I will, as I'm reading and translating, will comment it on as I'm going, which is behind one of the great schisms in all of Jewish life, the departure of the Karaites from the realm of quote-unquote normative or rabbinic Judaism. It's a remarkably interesting collection, but it is, for now, what I will focus on, instead of all of it tomorrow, is the opening section of the cultic calendar, Leviticus 23, verses 1 and following. If a tree falls in a forest and no one is there to hear it, does it make a sound? This is a very serious question. As you know, the cutting edge of physics is something called quantum mechanics. I was going to, this is for you, I was going to buy a quantum as a car, but I couldn't find a quantum mechanic. The seriousness of the question is that we know now, literally, scientifically, it's true that the observer affects the event itself. Does a tree fall in the forest if no one is there to hear it? There was at one point a sort of sexist version of that, and I'm not really sure I should tell it again, but I'll just, Yom Kippur is coming, I'll apologize later. If a man says something in the forest and there's no woman to correct him, is he still wrong? But I guess you could reverse that and change the genders and or use that for any different groups, and I find it funny even though I cringe. So why am I mentioning this? It's Friday night and we are here. It's Erev Shabbat. But if nobody came, would it be Shabbat? Let me circle back to that in a minute. I'm going to jump to an unusual place, which is the very opening of the Talmud. The opening of the Talmud, Masechet Brachot, Tractate Brachot, begins with an argument. And the argument is about the following. Well, eventually they get into, from what time do you recite the Shema, the commandment that's recited to be commanded to be recited twice a day? What time in the morning can you recite the Shema? And one argument is there used to be a thread in the tzitzit that was a different color. It was a pale blue. What's interesting about this is it came from the ink of a snail. Now, what's so crazy about that? The snail is not kosher. You're not supposed to derive benefit, and yet the ink for this color came from, at one point, the shell. From the time that you can distinguish the little blue tzitzit from all the others. And the other answer, other rabbis argue, from the time that a king, the average time that a king gets up in the morning. Now, presumably, they didn't have a chief of staff forcing them to go to early morning meetings, and a king could get up whenever a king wanted. So this argument is not about what it seems to be about. What it's about is whether the commandment to recite the Shema is part of the very fabric of nature. Is it connected to something objective, or is it a social construct? Is it based on behavior? That is what this argument is about. And it is the genius of Judaism to never fully resolve certain arguments. It's not just a matter of two Jews, three opinions. It really is a sense of a merism. Do you know what the word merism means? Merism is a great literary term, M-E-R-I-S-M, that means the expression of totality through extremity. When it says we will go with our young and with our old, it's not leaving Ellen out. It's not leaving you out. The middle-aged, right? It means everyone, right? When it says, and God created the heavens and the earth, it means everything, right? A merism is the expression of totality through extremity. To some degree, when you are able to sit with both sides of an argument and not need to resolve them decisively for one side or another, you are actually experience a kind of balance. A balance, at least, of perspectives. And it is the genius of Judaism in many settings to not fully resolve things. And so finally we come back to whether it is Shabbat if nobody comes. And to the beginning of this week's Torah portion, with the remarkable contradiction that opens, Ela Moadei Adonai. These are the fixed seasons of the eternal. And then it says, Asher Tikra'u, which you shall proclaim. Is this part, is Shabbat? Are the holidays? Is the calendar? Are the commandments from God part of the very fabric of existence? Are they really real? Are they objective standards? Or does it depend on our proclamation, our enacting them? And the genius of the answer is yes. And that is the opening of this remarkably interesting festive calendar, Leviticus chapter 23, verses 1 and following. Because it says, and you shall proclaim, because it puts this on all of us, let's do a group aliyah tonight. Let me make sure I'm in the right place. And because we are doing a communal aliyah, we don't need to repeat the second line. It is, of course, the custom, just as for the Baruch Hu and the words to the Baruch Hu, the repetition of the Baruch Hu as a prayer, the exact same words as the opening of the aliyah. The custom, of course, is to repeat the congregation says the second line, and then the person doing the aliyah repeats it. But since we're all doing the aliyah together, let's just do the whole thing together without the repetition. Baruch Hu et Adonai hamavarach, Baruch Adonai hamavarach leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato, Baruch atah Adonai, noten ha'torah. Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, and God spoke to Moses, saying, Daber el b'nei Yisrael v'amarata alehem, speak to the Israelites and say to them, Moadei Adonai, the fixed seasons of Adonai, Asher tikra'u otam, which you shall proclaim, Mikra'e Kodesh, as sacred gatherings, Ela hem Moadai, these are my fixed seasons. And it is fascinating here that the first one is Shabbat. It refers to Shabbat as a moed, which is really interesting. It does not use the term which is used here in, or does it? Yes, it does. The other term for the festival that isn't Shabbat is a Chag. And it didn't occur to me until tonight in preparation for this, that the word Chag was a pilgrimage festival. And what is the G and the J in Arabic are similar. What is it when you go to Mecca? I think it's the same word. Had not occurred to me until tonight. I might be wrong, but that had not occurred to me until tonight. So it refers to Shabbat as a moed here, which is fascinating. It is not usually, or in other places, referred to as a moed. Sheshet yamim ta'aseh melacha. 6 days you shall do all manner of your work. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat Shabbaton. And on the seventh day you should leave your work early in order to get to services on time. Mikra Kodesh, it is a sacred assembly. Kol malacha lo ta'asu. All manner of work you shall not do. Shabbat ki ladonai b'chol moshvotechem. You shall observe Shabbat in all of your dwellings. Ela moadei Adonai mikra'ei kodesh asher tikra'u otam b'moadam. These are the fixed seasons of God, the sacred assemblies which you shall proclaim in their proper time. And it's interesting, of course, what doesn't it start with? It doesn't start with Rosh Hashanah. Remember that the Egyptian calendar begins with a spring New Year. The Babylonian calendar begins with a fall New Year. And Rosh Hashanah, therefore, comes to us from the Babylonian tradition. But the spring New Year, Aviv, April is the first month. B'chodesh HaRishon, in the first month, which is not Tishrei here, it's Aviv. Ba'arba'asar l'chodesh, on the 14th of the day, Bein HaAbrayim at twilight, Pesach l'Adonai, there shall be a Pesach for God. Uv'chamisha asar yom l'chodesh hazeh, and on the 15th of that month, Chag HaMatzot, it's the holiday of Matzah, l'Adonai, for God. Shiv'at yamim matzot tochelu, 7 days you shall consume matzah. B'yom harishon mikra kodesh yeh lachem kol melechet avodah lo ta'asu. The first day is a festival, don't do any of your work. V'ikhavtem yishel Adonai, and you shall bring the sacrifice to God. Shiv'at yamim b'yom, for 7 days, b'yom hashvi'i mikra kodesh. The 7th day is a sacred assembly. Kol melechet avodah lo ta'asu. You shall do no manner of work. Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, and God said to Moses, spoke to Moses, saying, Daber el bnei Yisrael va'amarta aleihem. Speak to the Israelites and say to them, Ki tavo el haaretz asher ani noten lachem. When you come into the land which I shall give you, uktsartem et ktsira, and you cut the corners of your fields. This is the wheat, the barley harvest. Vehevetem et omer reshit. You shall bring the first omer, ktsirchem of the crop, el hakohen, to the priest. Vehenif et haomer, he shall wave the omer, lifnei Adonai lirtzonchem, for God on your behalf. And then here's the phrase, which is a fascinating phrase, mimacharat haShabbat yanifu hakohen. From the day after Shabbat, the kohen, the priest, shall wave it. Now, the day after Shabbat, in the normal usage of the word Shabbat, would be what day? Sunday. All of Jewish tradition from the Talmud on, the Karaites disagree, but all of Jewish tradition from the Karaites on have decided that the word Shabbat here actually means festival, and the festival that it means is Pesach, and so that this is a counting that begins on the day after the first day of Passover, and you count 49 days, so 49 days after the second day of Passover gives you how many days? 50, 50. And Christians have a holiday that's after Easter too. It's 50 days after Easter. What is that holiday called? Pentecost. And what does Pentecost mean? In English, what does Pentecost mean? 50. Right? The word Pentecost means 50. And so they got that from us. Of course, they interpret it. Easter is always on a Sunday, so they must have interpreted it in a different way, similar to the way that the Karaites do. So I will stop here with the calendar, but we are going into that in more detail tomorrow morning. Please join me. Baruch ta Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet olam nata betochenu Baruch ata Adonai noten haTorah. Mishaberach avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah yivarech v'yirapeh et hacholim ha'ela. O God, who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, send your blessing and healing to the following of our friends: Mona Ellis, David Wetzel, Helen Rosenfield, Bill Demko, Harry Silver. Any other names in the prayer for healing? Baruch atah Adonai rofeh cholim. We praise you, O God, who helps us heal, who brings us comfort. Why here, by the way? Why does the prayer for healing go here in the service? When we don't have a Torah service, it goes after, it goes where the Torah service would have been. Why here in the service? The words of the Mishaberach were trying to get God's attention for a prayer for healing. And so we link it to two things that we think God thinks may be important. One is, Mishaberach avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'imotenu Sarah. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. Hey, God, you remember Abe, Ike, and Jake? I'm their descent, right? So pay attention, right? And the other is through the merit of the study of Torah. Through the merit of studying Torah, we are able to invoke God's blessing on that which we care deeply about. As we continue the service, and as I lift the scroll, see if you'll come to my other side, and please rise. V'zot Torah Yisrael al pi Adonai Biyad Moshe al shlosha devarim al shlosha devarim ha'olam omed al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'ud chasadim al ha'torah avodah al gevut hadim. Right to Aleinu. Aleinu is on the bottom of page 586. Aleinu. Page 58, She'uno Teshayim v'Yosed Ha'aretz U'Moshav Yikaro B'Shamayim Mimam U'Shchinatu Zo B'Govei Meromim U'Eloheinu Einod Emet Malkeinu Efesu Lato Kakatuv betorato v'yadata hayom v'hashevota el levavecha Ki Adonai hu ha-Elohim Bashamayim mimal ve'al haaretz mitachat ein od v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. And I jumped too quickly to Aleinu. This is supposed to be before Aleinu, page 570. For those not familiar with this, the explanation is on the bottom of the page, below the line. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Our praise to you, Adonai, sovereign of all, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to count the Omer. Now, the 33rd day of the Omer, Lag BaOmer, I expect you all to be having barbecue picnics or bonfires on Monday night, this coming Monday night. But today is not quite then. Hayom Shloshim Yom Shehem Arba'a Shavuot Ushnei Yamim LaOmer. Today is the 30th day, which is 4 weeks and 2 days of the Omer.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom to everybody here and to those that are watching from home. Rabbi has already mentioned that it is official. We have hired our new cantor, Rhoda Harrison. We are very excited to have her officially start with us on July the 1st, but she will be here, I believe, next weekend for a bat mitzvah, and in 2 weeks. Okay, and she has already been here for Purim and some services, so perhaps you have already gotten to meet her. But we are very excited, as she is also. And I want to take a moment to congratulate Rabbi and Julie. Their daughter Talia will be graduating college next weekend. Yes, it's the last one, his third one through college. And so we want to wish them a mazel tov and that you have a beautiful weekend for graduation. Rabbi will not be with us next weekend. However, we will have a rabbi here. I think you all remember Rabbi Weiss. He will be here next weekend. Please, after services, join us for Kiddush in the Weiss lobby at the conclusion of services. Next, J Place Adult Book Group will meet on Wednesday, May the 10th at 1 p.m. in the Cohen Library. The selection is 100 Saturdays by Michael Frank. Please join us for confirmation services on Sunday morning, May the 21st at 10 a.m. And I really do want to say, for everybody that's here and those watching at home, please make an effort to come that morning. These kids have studied all year, and before this year, they've been at Kalanu. And it's important to the families, and it's important to support the young adults that are in the confirmation program. So again, that will be Sunday morning, May the 21st at 10 a.m., and there will be a reception following that. Shavuot will be celebrated on Thursday, May the 25th, with the reading of the Ten Commandments at 5:30 p.m. Following, please join us for a reception in the Weiss lobby featuring blintzes, cheesecake, and ice cream. The cost is $10 per person, and at 7 p.m., there will be a study session in the Cohen Library. Please, if you're intending to come to that, RSVP by May the 22nd by calling the office. And save the date. We have a group that are working on our summer barbecue, which will be Sunday, June the 4th at 4 p.m. here. There will be lots of things going on for all different ages. The cost for that is also $10 per person or $36 per family in advance, but $15 per person or $45 for a family at the door. So you definitely want to sign up ahead of time for that. And also the Mark L. Rosenberg Annual Golf Tournament is on Wednesday, June the 14th at Blue Heron Pines Golf Course. Your support is needed, getting sponsors, or if you'd like to volunteer to help with that. And with that, I say Shabbat Shalom.
There are people whose light, whose warmth continue to shine for us, though they are no longer among us. These stars which shine in the dark of the night, they light the way for humankind. We remember at this time those of our congregation's beloved whose yahrzeit occurs on this Shabbat: Chuck Askowitz, Eva Bernstein, Sophie Binnenstock, Helen Blaine, Bertha Cohen, Lawrence Kasoy, Fanny Kravis, Harry Feynman, Irving Friedman, Regina Gallowitz, Faye Garfield, Beatrice Goldberg, Selah Gutkind, Moses Hanstein, Harry Harrison, Blanche Joseph, Gerson Kahn, Sidney Katz, Beatrice Landau, Maury Popowich, Caroline D.C. Rothschild, Amelia Schwerin, Dr. Ann Singer, Adelaide Stern, Bernard Stern, Robert Sternberg, Harry Wertheimer, Brian Weissenfeld, Lena Wallowitz, Francis Lotnick. During this period of Shloshim, the 30 days following their deaths, Leah Lowenstein, Joyce Anderson, J.B. Connor, Elizabeth Tannenbaum, Robert Tunick, Rabbi Sim Glazer, Rabbi Harold Kushner, and Dan Garrett. The memories of all of them are with us. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as we turn to Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. And as is the custom in most Reform synagogues, we rise as a congregation as a whole for Kaddish Yatom, for the mourner's Kaddish itself. Page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma tivrach cherutei v'amlich malchutei, v'chaye chon uvyom echon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah vorach leolam olmei almaya, yitparach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudusha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran b'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol Yoshvei Tevel v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn among us and wherever they may be, all those who are suffering the pain of loss everywhere, and together let us say. The commandment to observe Shabbat is in this week's portion, as you heard, but we should not only feel commanded, but also to celebrate. And so we end just with the chorus of Yismechu. Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, Oneg Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. And please join us for candles, Kiddush, and Motzi.